Good morning, everyone. We will now begin the morning service of the Miroku Association headquarters, asking God and Meishu-sama to protect and bless us as we participate today in the construction of paradise on earth. Amatsu-Norito and Miroku Prayer, please stand. Taka amahara ni kanzumarimasu. Kamurogi kamuromi no mikoto mochite. Sumemi oya kamuri zanagi no mikoto. Tsukushi no rimuka no tachi hana no. Hodo no ahagi hara ni. Misogi harai tamo toki ni narimaseru. Harai dono kamitachi. Moro moro no magagoto tsumi kegare o. Harai tamae kiyome tamae toma osu koto no yoshi. Kunitsu kami yao yorozu no kami tachi tomoni. Ame no fuchi koma no mimi kurita tete. Kikoshi meseto kashikomi mo maosu. Miroku o mikami mamori tamae saki hae tamae. Miroku o mikami mamori tamae saki hae tamae. Oshie mi oyanushi no kami mamori tamae saki hae tamae. Oshie mi oyanushi no kami mamori tamae saki hae tamae. Kum nagara tamachi haemase. Kum nagara tamachi haemase. Great God of light, creator and giver of all life, in accordance with your divine will, the long age of night draws to an end. Your radiant and divine light, shining ever more brilliantly, awakens the dawn of the glorious age of light, a time long awaited. We thank you for guiding us to your divine plan and for the privilege of channeling and receiving Johrei. May our spirits and bodies be illuminated and purified as we lead your truths given to us by Meishu-sama. Make us pure and effective instruments of your divine light, so that we may serve you and all those with whom we come in contact. May paradise on earth be realized, with health, peace, and prosperity, a reality in our lives. Great God of light, bless and protect us. Radiate our souls with your divine light, so that we may truly become instruments of your great plan. Seated, we will now receive group Johrei. Johrei is now concluded. We will now listen to a reading from Meishu-sama's teaching. In service to humanity. How big and beautiful are the hearts of those who put the welfare and happiness of others first, even before their own. I am doing my best to fulfill the needs and wishes of others and to make them happy. Know that the happiness we feel when we bring joy and happiness to people is the greatest happiness in the world. The secret to happiness lies in helping others to become happy. This is all that is necessary for us to do. To put it simply, it is to do as much good as possible, to strive to do good deeds whenever one can. Once individuals who perform good deeds increase, imagine what will happen to our nation and then to all humanity. As a result, unhappy problems will disappear and a paradise on earth free from disease, poverty, and conflict will become a reality. Everyone will then surely experience boundless happiness.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining the morning service of the Miroku Association headquarters. This morning, I have this faith experience I would like to share with you. It is from Maria Roselise Bezerra Saraiva. She's from the Central Johrei Center in Fortaleza, Brazil. Maria Roselise is a nurse, and in 2017, she took over the coordination of a health unit in a hospital. With that, her workload increased considerably, and she stayed away from dedications. In addition to the fatigue generated by the work overload, she experienced conflicts with some co-workers. With that, she ended up developing a picture of fatigue, mental exhaustion, and depression. She had to resort to medication, and in mid 2019, she resigned from her leadership position, which created a strong financial impact on her. In the midst of that difficult situation, she sought out the Johrei Center minister for guidance. She told Maria Roselise to increase the channeling of Johrei, exercise gratitude through daily donations, and read the teachings of Meishu-sama. I'm really tired of wanting to solve everything with human strength. She surrendered her problems and concerns to God and Meishu-sama, took 15 days of vacation, and dedicated to serving the divine work. She began going to the Johrei Center daily, where she prayed and offered daily donations of gratitude. At the same time, she updated the enshrinement records of her ancestors, the Sorei Saishi. She performed the Mitamamigaki, which is the dedication to cleaning our surroundings as a soul polishing. She channeled Johrei, dedicated as an MC for services and at the liturgy room, and made floral arrangements. And at home, she practiced Johrei daily with her daughter. She returned to work after the vacation feeling refreshed, and her co-workers commented on her change as she was happier and calmer. In that way, she was able to establish a good relationship with everyone, and the work environment became harmonized. She continued with the dedications in the church and started to provide religious assistance. In August 2019, she experienced severe pain in her abdomen. She received a lot of Johrei and reflected on the origin of that purification. She realized that she harbored resentment and grudge about some family members. She surrendered these feelings to God and asked that her spirit be purified and that her ancestors be saved by the light of Johrei and dedication. was able to turn those feelings into gratitude. She felt lighter, and in about 5 days, her pain stopped. Currently, she no longer takes medications, and her emotional state is excellent. She fulfills her mission as a family assistant, taking care of 10 homes, in addition to dedications at the Johrei Center. Maria Roselise is very grateful to God, the Meishu-sama, and her ancestors for the opportunity to strengthen her faith and harmony, which took root in her life, especially in her heart. Her goal is to dedicate her life to the divine work, serving as an effective instrument in the construction of paradise on earth. That was from Maria Roselise from Fortaleza, Brazil. And another experience I want to share with you. This one is from Maria Olga Simões dos Santos. She's from the Oporto Johrei Center, Portugal. Maria Olga is responsible for an art gallery in the center of Oporto, where every Monday from 6 to 8 p.m., the Johrei Center in Praça da República operates. In order to put into practice the guidance of our church headquarters in Portugal, of spreading Johrei going door to door, the minister challenged her and the members who attend the Johrei Center to carry out this dedication around the art gallery. Despite having things planned for a designated day, she decided to cancel everything work related and organize the expansion activity. She made some calls to invite people, and on the day of the dedication, the missionary who guided her to the church, which Maria Olga also invited, told Maria that she could not go, but that she would be with her in her thoughts. And she reminded Maria of the importance of dedicating for salvation her ancestors, and especially those of her husband, who would have his birthday the following day. It would be like a special birthday gift for all of them. By nature, Maria doesn't easily accept when people tell her how to do things. But for some time now, she has been trying to improve obedience and accepting the things that come to her as messages from God, Meishu-sama, and her ancestors. Thus, just as she accepted the dedication, she also accepted the missionary's words with the right feelings, and she offered to open her heart and be available to those who she would meet and who have an affinity with Meishu-sama. The dedication was attended by 8 members. They divided into 3 groups, and with her was a member from Guimarães, whom Maria didn't know and who came especially for this dedication. When she asked her name, she replied, Marina de Jesus. Maria found it interesting and commented that it is her husband's nickname, but that person didn't pay attention to it. On the street, the first person they approached was a neighbor who has great difficulty getting around. She received Johrei and her name was Maria de Jesus. A little further on, Maria Olga entered into a cafe next to the gallery, and half afraid, she went to talk to the owner and asked him for permission to give Johrei to people there. To her surprise, he was sick. He asked for Johrei right there, and when she asked his name, he replied, Joaquim Jesus. Later on, they channeled Johrei to a family in which one of the people was named Amélia de Jesus. At that moment, she remembered the conversation with the missionary and thought, oh, how fantastic this spiritual world is. The next day, on her husband's birthday, she had expressed the desire to have lunch at her parents' home. Lately, the relationship between her husband, her father, and her brother was not very good, and they haven't spoken for a long time. In the morning, before telling Maria whether they were going or not, her husband received a call with a job opportunity. When she heard this, she thought that there would be no more lunch, but she opened her heart and obediently surrendered these feelings to God and Meishu-sama. To her surprise, her husband declined the offer and said he had already had an appointment. Previously, work for him has always been a priority, and his attitude really warmed her heart. When they arrived at her parents' home, Her mother was not there, but she had left a message to advance lunch preparations. When she realized it was Maria, her husband, and her father preparing lunch and happily chatting. Then later, the three of them went out into the yard to get some herbs and talk, things that weren't normal lately for them. During lunch, they were chatting in good spirits. Her brother, who didn't even speak to her husband, even invited him to go out together to a friend's house. Her mother even commented to her that she wasn't recognizing Maria's husband as he was so different. Finally, they all had dinner together, surrounded by a positive atmosphere and talking about different subjects. She felt that all their ancestors were happy. Since her grandfather passed away 20 years ago, they no longer had a positive vibration at the dinner table. When she returned to home, involved by satisfaction and happiness, she recognized that all that change was the result of the dedication made the day before. The dedication was spreading Johrei from door to door. She learned from this experience that we must accept the challenges we receive as challenges given by God and Meishu-sama for our happiness, and not allow our egos and our thoughts, fears, and prejudices to hold us back. We must open our hearts and let things happen, taking advantage of the opportunities that life gives us to free ourselves from our shells. Maria Olga is very grateful to God, Meishu-sama, and her ancestors for this wonderful experience. Thank you very much for listening to these faith experiences today. Wish you a wonderful day. Thank you very much.
This brings to a conclusion. Thank you everyone for joining us and have a blessed